All right, you're together. Where do you want it? You guys can stay wherever you'd like to stand. So
I want to see everybody.
No smoking tonight.
Let's cancel that.
I don't know what that is.
maybe that was Dad walking back. All right. Well, thank you again, everybody, for coming out. We're thrilled to have you all here to celebrate this very special couple. And you all did a great job keeping it a surprise, so thank you so much. I just wanted to share a few words because 50 years, I think, deserves a few words.
A few.
Yeah. So first of all, I hope that everybody here tonight is in a damn near perfect state. And for those of you who know Roger, and if you ask him how he's doing on any given day, he's usually damn near perfect. So I just wanted to review a love story that started in 1962. Yeah. So at Canterbury schoolyard, right? Was that the first meeting? Yeah. And the good old days in South Worcester, where all the neighbors and families looked out for each other, and there were lots of games being played at Maloney's Field, including handball, which became a lifelong love. And they've had lots of good times and some rough ones, especially when Roger was drafted to Vietnam. And luckily he survived and came back, and thanks to Mom's cookies and letters to keep him going. And then they made their plans to get married. So today is actually their 50th anniversary date, and some of you in this room were actually with them on that day 50 years ago as well. So they got married, and then they spent 5 years together partying and having fun, and then they adopted me.
And the fun was over?
No, the fun still continued. So 2 turned into 3, and they immediately put in to adopt another daughter because I was so good, they had to have another one to follow.
Just as good.
And then they stopped. No, but then they stopped. And then they bought their home in Dudley. And their family and friends who were from Worcester said that was a huge move because they had no idea where or what Dudley was. Right? No offense, Alan. I know they live on your street, your family's street. So Filer Road has been home base ever since, and there's been tons of parties and games and card playing and swimming and handball and beach volleyball. Camp Beeland, as many of my friends used to refer to it. And then there were tests to their relationships as well. All marriages go through that. So a couple of the things I thought were good tests for them is Mom being deathly afraid of snakes. And when we were growing up, a snake got in our basement behind the wall. And my mother said to Dad, if he couldn't get that snake out, we were moving. And so he either better have proof he got the snake out or convince her that it was gone. And she was serious. It was not a joke.
Oh, she was serious.
Yeah, she was serious. And he continued on with that theme of the snake where he actually put a belt in their bed. And my mother thinks it's a snake.
And we're still together.
So those are some of the types of things Dad would do to Mom. And then Mom, you had to embrace Dad's love of softball. And you did. You embraced it. You kept score, right, Val? You were right there too, keeping score at all these games, trying to keep the guys in line. Not an easy job. So that was very thankless. But you also had to deal with Dad's shortcuts and getting lost. And now he's added, I don't go the speed limit anymore. So getting someplace is always an adventure with Dad. So those are some of the trials and tribulations you've had to put up with. And Dad loved to come home with new cars, right? He would just buy one I was out today, bought this car. Now, I will say there was one purchase that Shane and I were very happy about, and that was the Chevy Cavalier convertible, because there was no better car to learn how to drive on and drive after you just got your license. That was the car I got my first speeding ticket in. And I remember, I think it was one of the Philos actually saw, maybe it was you, Alan, right? I was driving too fast on Route 131. You let Dad know? That car didn't go slow. So those are the types of things they would do. It was just a great family to grow up in. But soon enough, just as 50 years went by so quickly, right? Shannon and I were off to college. And then Dad retired after Shannon finished college. So he had to find something to do with all of his time, and softball and golf have become his weekly appointments, as many of you know. The other thing that happened when he stopped working is we could never find him. So until he got a flip phone, when that was probably in the past 5 years, you couldn't find him, because at least when he was working at Crucible, you knew he was at his desk 8 hours a day, or at least in the warehouse somewhere. Now we couldn't track him. But
Still can't.
but he does check his voicemail, and he will get back to you. Yeah, so that's good. So after college, Shane and I, right, we moved on to our marriages and the birth of grandchildren. So between 2000 and 2006, we welcomed 5 sweet, adorable munchkins who are now somewhat sweet, adorable teenagers. I don't know. We'll keep them. But they are some of the best grandparents that we know. I mean, they support their grandchildren with every game, event, ceremony. They try to get to everything. And they certainly helped Shin and I with raising the kids. I mean, always there for us. On Mondays, while the kids were growing up, Mom and Dad would take just the grandkids. And Meme was famous for her pasta. And also taught them all how to swim when they were with her, so she made sure they're all great swimmers. And Pepe would ask trivia questions, and I'm sure, again, many of you are part of those trivia questions as well. And his grandchildren are no exception. And then handball, so always out and about and doing lots of different things with everybody. Mom, so Dad retires at 52. Mom continues working, but you did retire. And, she's now so involved in her own weekly appointments of water aerobics, helping out at food pantries, making crafts, and still subbing at the school to help out her friends and family there. And I'm sorry, I'll move on. I'm sorry. But there's so many great memories with everyone in this room, and that's why you're here, because you have meant so much to my parents, and it wouldn't be an appropriate celebration with all of you part of it. So thank you again. Whether it was cookouts, birthday parties, coffee and dessert, fishing, games, vacations, day trips, cruises, and more cruises, Robin, cruises. And just amazing trips with friends and family. So through all the ups and downs of life, my parents consistently are role models for how to live a full life. The ingredients that I've gathered from them are love, respect, laughter, kindness, support, and probably most importantly, a great sense of humor. You are an inspiration to us all, and we can't wait to see what more you accomplish together. And with that, cheers to many, many more.
Now, get Shannon to turn around.